Hello there, Scorpio. Welcome to my channel. Victoria here, Radiant Moon Tarot. This is your September 2023 singles reading. If you are single and looking for new love, this is the reading for you guys. Let's have a look and see what we've got coming out for the month ahead. So September 3rd, to start off with, we've got Venus going direct in the sign of Leo, and this is wonderful. Venus has been in retrograde since, I think, the 22nd, 23rd of July. And in that retrograde energy, we've had connections that have started and stopped. We've had people ghosting us. We've had uncertainty. Do I even want to put in time and energy to find love? So there's been a lot of back and forth, and there's been a lot of heat, a lot of passion, but sometimes short-lived in that energy. So now that Venus is going direct, you may feel a little bit more secure in what you want out of love. You might feel a little bit more confident, right? Because Venus retrograde in Leo can bring us a lack of confidence or feeling like we're not enough, or we don't have, I don't even know what I want out of love, or no one's good enough for me, right? Or I'm not good enough. So it can be a little bit tricky in that energy. So Venus going direct is a beautiful energy. Number one, Leo gives us confidence, opens our heart, very connected with our heart space, helps us feel a little bit more inspired, a little bit more alive and passionate. So it's wonderful. And of course, Venus brings us love and abundance and new beginnings and the resources that we need to find love. We've got tolerance coming in here for you. Very beautiful green energy connected with your heart space, opening your heart chakra. You appreciate other points of view because you sense the love in everyone. So this is really activating you to be a little bit more open and aware about people, to give people the benefit of the doubt, or to hear people out and not necessarily make such snap judgments. And in this day and age, things move pretty fast. And if you're doing anything like, online dating, or do they do speed dating anymore? I'm not even sure. But you're doing these things to meet new people that do require like a little bit of quick judgment. And we all know, we've all heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, a picture can speak 1,000 words, but you see these people online, they're looking for love, or maybe they're looking for something else. And some people, it just makes them very uncomfortable, but they might feel a little bit forced into it. So sometimes the pictures that we see, they don't really tell the whole story. So when we get this energy coming in, this is really about keeping an open mind, keeping an open heart. It doesn't mean that you're not going to pay attention to red flags, or, you're not going to ignore your intuition, right? But it's maybe giving us a little bit more energy here to take a little bit more time before we make some certain decisions. But whatever your energy is, whatever your situation is, we're opening up a little bit more, and you may feel as though you've gone through a healing journey, or as you've gotten a little bit older, wiser, hopefully more mature as well in your outlook for love. You might find that the things that you used to find completely intolerable in people, maybe now you've come to the realization that, we've got to give someone a little bit of leeway. And, so those deal breakers that we used to have in our early 20s, that kind of thing. And now it's like, what, at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter that someone puts their wet towel on the floor, because it's really their character, their personality, their soul energy that is the most important, rather than just a slightly annoying daily habit. We have empathy here as well. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. Beautiful energy, opening your heart, bringing you higher levels of understanding with people there. So it's a beautiful energy right here. Really bringing in a little bit of patience, a little bit of calm, and, really, yeah, it's just, again, it's like an evolution. of love for you here, Scorpio. But we also have creativity, which is beautiful. This is that Leo energy activated. You love to devise new ideas, innovation, and forms of illumination. So you might meet somebody through some sort of creative endeavor. Maybe you're doing a home improvement project and you go down to the hardware store and, maybe you bump into someone in the aisle. They might see you looking for something and maybe give you a little bit of input, or maybe you actually ask someone for help. You might call a contractor in, or maybe you go and learn a new skill, something that you've always wanted to do. Perhaps you've got some artistic inclinations there and you go and take like a painting class or something, or you learn to cook, right? So something involving creativity. Not only are you being a little bit more creative in how you approach people in love, or how you connect with people. The world has changed in the last couple of years, but this is where also your creative juices are flowing here. So through some sort of project, endeavor, or new opportunity, there is where you might find somebody. We've got the Knight of Wands coming out there, the Five of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and we've got the Three of Swords. We'll get another one with that, with the Eight of Wands. Okay. So, yeah. So the energy that is currently most prevalent around you right now, the energy right here, right now activated, we've got the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is, as a person, some of you may have already met somebody. Now, you might be sitting here thinking, because of course we have, as I do this reading, we do still have Venus in retrograde, and the Knight of Wands is sometimes, not always, sometimes known for fizzling out quite quickly in that connection. And it's really just because that Knight of Wands isn't ready to settle down. Yes, sometimes in the tarot, the Knight of Wands is known as like a player energy. Like, I'm here for a conquest, I'm here for a short time, a good time, a fun time, a passionate time, and then I'm going to fly the coop, right? Because it's all about that conquest there for that person, right? And then they get bored really easily. So they're not always like that. Remember, in a new love reading, we all got to start somewhere, and quite often it starts with that attraction. It starts with that chemistry. It starts with that energy, right, that we feel between two people. And yes, we quite often do start out relationships in quite a fiery, passionate way. So the Knight of Wands that's here, number one, this can be your energy. You're ready. You are raring to go to find love. You're like, okay, where are we here? How do I meet people? How do I get out? And this is very much an energy of movement, right? So you're on the move, you're making the right moves, and you are looking for that love. And this brings an energy of confidence as well. So I think for some of you, maybe you haven't been feeling all that confident in finding love, and now you're going to feel that confidence kind of heighten a little bit. Maybe you've had some things going on in other areas of your life that now you've, have settled down a little bit, and now you're very much gung-ho in your quest for love. But the Knight of Wands, yes, can represent someone that you have already met. Now, this could also represent your ability to attract people to you right now, because the Knight of Wands is a very irresistible kind of energy. So whether you are about to meet somebody in this energy, whether this is the energy that you are emitting, or you may have already made an initial spark, an initial connection, it's all good to start off with, right? The real question sometimes is that Knight of Wands ever going to mature into the King of Wands, right? Someone who's still exciting to be around, someone who can still get your motor running, but someone who is a little bit more mature in their outlook, in their love, in their commitment, right? So sometimes that is the big question. But when we're initiating love here, right, it's really all about this connection and checking out to see if the vibes are going to stick, and are we on the same page about what we want out of love. Have got the Chariot card coming in here, and the Chariot card is Cancerian energy. So it may possibly be that you have either already met or you're attracting towards you a Cancerian person. But the Chariot card also does speak to a lot of passionate energy. All right. And because the Chariot does represent your willpower, your confidence, your drive, your determination, right? Making things happen by your own will, by the actions that you take. And this does lead you on the path to success. So we've got a lot of really positive, successful kind of energy that is very much alive in this present moment right here, right now for you. And this can very much be yours. So it is very exciting, but you're ready. You're ready to move forward, right? Both of these are very much moving forward quickly, right? So some of you, again, might be feeling a little bit impatient, or with this Venus retrograde that we've been having and some crazy astrology that we've been having the last couple of months, and we're still in. By the way, we do have, I think at the moment that I do this reading, I think we have 5 planets retrograde, and it's about to be a 6th very quickly here. So we've got a lot of planets in retrograde slowing us down a little bit, but you're raring to go. So I feel like here, whenever a door opens for you, whenever an opportunity presents itself, you're just going to go for it in this energy. You might waffle a little bit, okay? You may even cause yourself a little bit of grief because it might be a little bit impulsive in this energy, okay? But it's a super duper positive mindset. Now, the Chariot card is also important because this is where something is lining up that's just meant to happen for you. It's an energy, the Chariot is a card of destiny. All right, so the stars aligning for you. You're about to make a connection that is in alignment with what you are supposed to experience in this lifetime. So it can be very, very exciting for you. But this is movement as well. So maybe some of you here with this energy, you are moving to a new location, or there's some travel that may come in for you. So maybe you're on vacation already, or you're planning one, and you could possibly have like a little bit of a summer fling. You may already have had one, and maybe you're holding on to that connection a little bit, and you're wondering, okay, is this just going to be a summer romance, like summer lovin', and we're done, or are we going to move forward, right? So for some of you, you're letting it go. Okay, we got the 8 of Cups here. It's like, okay, well, this was fun while it's lasted, but I'm here for the good time and not for the long time. All right. So with this 8 of Cups can certainly be a no. It can be a rejection. It can be like, okay, we're done, but now I know what I want. Because when we're in the 8 of Cups energy, it's like, okay, I don't feel an emotional connection with my current situation or my current people anymore. But now I know what it is that I do want, and I'm ready to make the positive moves to go forward in a better direction that is in alignment with, with what I desire. So the 8 of Cups can also represent that you are leaving the past behind. You're ready to move forward into your future. You're ready for your wishes and your dreams to come true, and you are taking the right steps forward. So all this energy of confidence and success, right? We are turning our back on our past, the things that don't work, the things that we've been holding on to, and this is moving forward in that. The High Priestess is here showing your connection with the moon cycles. So the new moons, the full moons, we're heading into eclipse season starting in October. So there might be something coming to fruition for you right now that has been activated at a previous moon cycle. And in September, we've got a new moon in Virgo on the 14th. And on the 15th, Mercury goes direct because currently Mercury is in retrograde. All right. And another reason why sometimes things may fizzle out quite quickly, or there might be some uncertainty about what you want, right? So take that step back and slow things down a little bit. So in the High Priestess energy, right, we show our connection with the moon cycles, our abilities to really trust our intuition, to go inward, okay, to make the right decisions and to contemplate something. What the High Priestess does speak to your intuition is very heightened at this time, and you're trusting it. You know instinctively if something's going to go the distance, and you feel instinctively if something is just going to be a temporary situation. All right. You're also very heightened here. You have a heightened ability here to say no. And that's an important thing to have, because sometimes on our quest for love, if we're in an energy where we're really, really desperate for love, I really want love. Oh my God, I can't, I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting annoyed. And when we're in this energy, sometimes what happens is we latch on to the first connection that we find. And that doesn't always mean that it's the right one. So are we latching on, are we clinging on because it's the right person? Or is it because we're in this kind of frantic energy, like must have, right? Here and now, right? Fear of missing out kind of thing, right? Instant gratification. And with the Eight of Cups showing up here and with the High Priestess, I feel here that you are very much trusting your instincts and you are willing to say no. You are willing to turn your back on something that doesn't feel right or something that's not what it is that you're looking for. And you might be like, you know what, I'm just not going to waste my time. Been here, done that. I know this kind of person. You know, yeah, they're fun. Yeah, they're exciting, but I know when to walk away. And so this is really important in this energy to trust your instincts, because you are, even if you engage in something like, say, a summer romance or something like that, this is you knowing when it's run its natural course and you're not going to hold on to something that you ultimately know you shouldn't. Right. So it's a great energy there for you. Same thing when you're meeting new connections, right? You're going to probably hear someone out, give them the benefit of the doubt. The High Priestess is very quiet energy. So you're observing, absorbing what someone is saying or how they're conducting themselves. And then you're very much trusting your inner wisdom here to make the right choice for you. Do I move forward with the Chariot card, or do I say no with that Eight of Cups? Right. So, and I think here that you are very much trusting your newfound or your old school wisdom that you have inside you, and you're really trusting your intuition. But with the moon cycles that are highlighted with the High Priestess, I do feel that some of you are very much embracing the energy to manifest a soulmate, true love, twin flame, that kind of thing, especially when that Chariot card does come out there, and with that Knight of Wands. All right. If you are going to set intentions to manifest love into your life and you're working with the moon cycles, I would say here in this energy, we do have this new moon in Virgo on the 14th. But Mercury goes direct on the 15th. Now, the moon energy lasts for about 3 days before and 3 days after at its peak. So even though we've got that new moon on the 14th, I would maybe wait till the 15th to set intentions, because I feel that your words will have greater impact and you will know very, very clearly, very decisive about what it is you want. Because I feel a little bit before that, your focus may actually be a little bit on what you don't want, or you may be a little bit uncertain and just manifesting because you feel like you have to do it on that day, right? So don't worry about waiting an extra day. Okay, it's all going to still be okay. The universe is still going to hear you. You're still going to be able to harness the energy of that new moon. But we've got a full moon in Aries on the 29th. And when we get the full moon, this is the completion of a cycle that was activated at the new moon in Aries in the spring. So have a look and see, where were you at in the spring? What were you manifesting? What were you thinking about? What were you clearing and cleansing out of your life? And see how far you've come. And all these planets in retrograde do invite a little bit of introspection, reflection on our past. What do you want to revive? What do you want to renew? And what do we need to let go of, right? Where do we need a little bit clearer direction in our lives? So, look back on the last 6 months. You'll actually be surprised how far you've come, how far you've grown, what you've learned over this time period, and this can really put some pieces together for you in your quest for love. Now, the energy activating in the month of September for you, we do have the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands, yes, it can sometimes represent a little bit of conflict or a little bit of a battle, okay, but the Five of Wands represents a little bit of competition. And it does quite often, this card show up when people are putting themselves out there. And if you think of, like, say, a sporting team or something like that, right? Like, so maybe your favorite hockey team or, football team or something. We've got a whole bunch of people all out competing for the same common goal, right? Whether it's a cup or, a touchdown or, a goal or whatever it happens to be, right? And in our quest for love, we are also competing with a whole bunch of other people, but we all want to come out on top. We all want to be number one, right? So we are taking action, and there's a lot of activity that goes on with this energy. But in order to find love, sometimes you've got to throw yourself out there in with the competition. And I feel in this energy, especially with what we've got over here, I feel that if you do decide, if you haven't already, if you do decide to throw yourself out there, put yourself out in that dating world, yes, there's a lot of fish in the sea. Yes, there's a lot of people also looking for the same thing that you are. But I feel here in this energy that you have the ability to rise to the top, to be seen in a very wonderful way, and to win what it is that you are competing for. So we also might have a little bit of a battle here as well. Okay, a little bit of a challenge, right? When with that Five of Wands, like they do represent challenges and obstacles, but they also represent exciting opportunity to change. And it is some physical activity here. So, some of you may actually be going to the gym or something to, get in better shape. Maybe you are just taking a little bit more initiative and action in finding love. Okay, but it does, can sometimes bring in a little bit of conflict, right? And, so maybe there's, especially if you've met somebody right now and you're waffling, you're like, is this going to go anywhere? Is this going to stop? Is this really what I want? So I feel like it might be a little bit of an inner battle there for you, trying to figure out what it is you do desire. Now, I do actually have another Five of Wands coming in here for you, and this is right in the middle of the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. Interesting. So number one, right? Competition. I do feel that if you haven't already put yourself out there, and if you're coming into alignment with the energy where it's like, you know what, I got to put myself out there. I got to get out of my comfort zone. I got to go find love, right? Two pages coming in with that battle in between, someone's battling for your heart, right? I feel like people are going to be competing for your attention. They're going to be, trying to get you to, meet up with them, or there's maybe just going to be a lot of heightened conversation and connection, right? But there is this kind of like competing for your affection, competing for your attention. All right. So for some of you here, once you open those floodgates, right, this is when all kinds of magical things happen, because the pages do quite often represent new energy, and it also quite often represents some positive news, right? Some really good news coming in there for you. So, this is beautiful energy. Now, I also do feel, and this is really more to do with all the retrogrades that we have, okay, I feel that for some of you, okay, you may actually get a second opportunity at love, maybe an opportunity that passed you by, because things can quite often come back to be revisited or renewed when we do have these retrogrades, and especially that Mercury retrograde can be quite pesky in that arena. So I do feel that either there's a misconnection possibly coming back in for some of you. Maybe someone reaches out to you, Page of Swords, via the internet. Someone's got their eye on you. And maybe this is someone that wants to make amends with you, or someone where maybe it was a little bit of a challenge to open yourself up for a connection with another person, or maybe there was like some sort of conflict or something like that in between, and now they come back around for a second try, even though nothing ever happened the first time. So if we think of sometimes what's happening right now, it's very interesting. I know a number of people that have gone through this. They've made an initial connection starting in probably like about the spring of 2020, if you know where I'm going there. And then there was some conflict and some turmoil and some battles, and oh my goodness, a lot of challenges that came in. And now, Page of Cups, they're coming back around, right? So some things are coming back into alignment for you that have maybe been lost for quite a while now. Right. And so if you were always wondering if, whatever happened to this person, I thought we had some good vibes, I thought we had some good energy, they just might come back around now. But some of you may actually have an old love or an old friend or someone that's willing to fight for your love here in this energy, right? But, for you, I think this can probably go either way. The High Priestess is really helping you to decide. right? Is this genuine? Is this not genuine? Can I trust this? Can I not trust this? So whether it's an ex, whether it's an old friend, whether it's just someone that you possibly had some really good energy with and now you bump into them again, some of you may have someone returning. But with this here, I do feel there's multiple opportunities for talking to new people and for getting yourself out there. All right. The Page of Swords quite often is tied with the internet, and with that Five of Wands there again, there's some of your online dating, okay? Be a little bit cautious with electronic forms of communication, though, especially the first half of the month, Mercury retrograde. You know, sometimes it's better to talk to people. If you can't do it face-to-face, maybe via the phone. There's ways that you can talk to people on the phone without revealing personal details and like your specific phone number, and maybe you meet them in a neutral location like a coffee shop or something with lots of other people around, right? Always protect your personal information until you know that you can, you know, trust somebody a little bit more, right? Always a good idea, okay, whenever we are putting ourselves out there. But I do feel here that for some of you, you just have to be a little bit cautious with some communication, emails, text messages, things like that, because messages in Mercury retrograde can either get lost or there can be some huge miscommunication and misunderstandings. So especially in the written word, because we don't have body language, we don't have tone of voice, we don't have all that stuff. So something that's meant to be sarcastic or funny can sometimes come across as rude and condescending. So we just need to be a little bit aware of that in that energy, which is a good lesson for every day, right? But especially in Mercury retrograde there. All right. But I do feel here that there's a lot of people competing for your attention and affection. And this is a beautiful energy, right? Page of Cups especially is exactly what we want to see when we're doing a new love reading. So there's new love knocking at your door. And again, you might need to turn some people down, but say yes to others in this energy. All right. Now, the challenge for you in September, we do have the Seven of Pentacles. So sometimes, you know, the Seven of Pentacles can actually represent a time of harvest for you, right? There's things that are blossoming in your life and it's a time to reap your rewards, right? So it can be a really great energy there for you. Okay. So I do feel that, but it is a card that does represent needing patience. Why? Because we've planted a seed of intention and we have to allow it to blossom and grow. And in the Seven of Pentacles, something is blossoming and growing, but for some of you, you do need to be a little bit more patient because it's not quite ready for you to pluck that off the tree. It's not quite ready for you to harvest. All right. So for some of you, a little bit more patience may be required, but you've got some of this being activated up here, right? Because sometimes the double five of wands can represent an element of frustration. All right. So you might be getting a little bit impatient, a little bit frustrated in your quest for love. So the challenge, calm, open, go with the flow, put yourself out there, but, you know, resist the tug that you may feel just to latch on to something because they're there, right? So that can be a little bit of a challenge. I do feel for some of you here also a little bit of procrastination is a bit of an issue. Now, both the Five of Wands do represent action and activity, as does the Knight of Wands and the Chariot card, right? So there is an energy here of movement, of taking action, okay? But in the Seven of Pentacles is typically where we do step back and we do assess our situation. We assess, you know, am I on the right track? Do I need to do something different? Do I need to take an alternate approach? So maybe something getting out of your comfort zone for some of you might be a little bit of a challenge. Trying something new can spark new energy, right? And it can really get the ball rolling for you. So it can get us out of a rut. But with the Seven of Pentacles, it's also an energy of assessing things. And, you know, you might spend so much time thinking about love and romance that you actually don't do anything about it, right? So the challenge is to get past inaction, right? And take action right here with the Five of Wands. Okay, so sometimes that can be a little bit of a conundrum for us here. The Seven of Pentacles, though, right, because it is a card of strategy. Am I on the right track? Do I need to do something different? You know, and sometimes in that energy, we can just kind of waffle a little bit back and forth. But we've got, oh, thank you. Okay, we've got 2 queens and an emperor coming in here. So with the queens, and again, this is your challenge position. Now, the challenge position is not entirely like the energy being reversed. Okay, it's just a little hiccup. It's sideways. So it can represent delays, it can represent some obstacles, it can represent some positive things going on, but they may take a little while longer to activate. Or it is an actual challenge, an obstacle that we have to overcome before we can see things start to unfold. Now, we do have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Now, for me, this is, I mean, both queens are wonderful energies, right? The Queen of Cups, you're very in touch with your emotion, your heart is open, you're trusting your intuition, the energy is flowing, a lot of love in the air, it's beautiful, right? But it's also being in receiving mode. The Queen of Swords, same thing, is, you know, the queens are calm, they're receiving, just like that High Priestess that's coming there. And the Queen of Swords usually does have a lot of clarity, does know, you know, it's like, I know what I want, I can make a decision, okay, my heart is open, but I'm a little bit cautious and I've got some healthy boundaries. So sometimes when we get these two, this can represent, with the Queen of Swords energy, a little bit of stubbornness or a little bit of closed off energy, okay, is something that you might need to work through, because it's great to put up boundaries. It's great to know what you want, okay, but sometimes what happens with the Queen of Swords, if it's in a challenge position, is that instead of putting up boundaries, we're building a wall, right? And because that Queen of Swords is like, okay, I've got my sword, you're not in danger, but I'm just letting you know that it's there in case you overstep a line, okay? But I'm also welcoming and I'm open, right? So it's like, you know, I'm going to welcome you in, but betray me at your own risk, right? But in that Queen of Swords, in that challenge, right, this is where, you know, instead of a boundary, we've got a wall, and a wall doesn't let anyone in or out. And this is the wall that we need to break down around our heart. So this can be a little bit of a challenge here. And the Queen of Cups brings in a typically healing energy, and it does open your heart. So possibly for some of you here, you have built up a little bit of a wall, okay? And we need to open our heart instead, right? And in the Emperor energy here, okay, we're maybe feeling a lack of confidence, or we're feeling as though we're not in charge of our situation, right? We're feeling like maybe there's been some issues, okay, with that Emperor energy with our past, that you're still working through some old traumas, because quite often the Emperor can represent like a father figure, that kind of thing. And, you know, how we were raised when we were children, and the relationship that our parents had, or the things that we were taught about love and romance back in the day, can influence our current situation here. So this may be something that you're working through, a pattern that you're trying to break away from, that you're trying to heal from. All right. The Emperor can also represent that there is somebody here, okay, that is maybe trying to give you advice, maybe because the Emperor is quite often an advice card, and you might be rejecting their advice, or maybe just putting up the hand, like, I don't really want to hear it, you know, that kind of thing. But it could be like some really wise words that are coming from somebody, possibly a friend, right, about love. Okay, perhaps some of you are here are also maybe going to like a counselor of some kind, right? And you're like opening yourself up, you're almost there, but there's still that little bit of hesitation, there's still that little bit of back and forth. Okay, but the Emperor is usually a card of authority, stability, security, and strategy, as is the Seven of Pentacles. So perhaps there is an element of confusion here that some of you are working through. I don't know what I want, so I can't make a decision. I'm trying to open my heart. I take one step forward, and then I get afraid and I close it off again. For some of you, you just have a little bit more healing to do in your journey. And for some of you, you really do need to just believe in yourself in your quest for love, right? Believe in yourself, be confident, right? You've got a lot to offer, you've got a lot to give. And if we've been through past hurts and broken relationships, sometimes our confidence really does take a hit. But there is healing energy here, and there is some very calm, stable energy that's trying to come in here for you. So I do feel here again, for some of you, it is a little bit of patience, or doing something different to find love that may be the obstacle that you need to overcome. Because again, that Emperor is, can very much be about taking charge, taking the lead, and doing something different, or putting a strategy in place, right? So I think there's a little bit of clarity that you need there, and just to, get yourself feeling like you're very much ready and you're on the right track in love there. All right. I do feel that perhaps for some of you here, there is maybe someone coming in with the Emperor who might be possibly a little bit older. Okay. Someone who, they're very communicative. They're very open. They've probably been through their fair share of heartbreak as well, because quite often that Emperor can be someone that's, possibly been divorced before. They might have kids, that kind of thing. Could be that someone has like adult children, and sometimes this can be a little bit daunting, right? Maybe they're a little bit older. But the Emperor does bring in kind of a very wise, mature person, someone who doesn't play games. But the Emperor is a kind of energy where someone knows what they want and they're going to get it, right? So this could actually be somebody who they come across as very confident, so come across as somebody who doesn't play games, they don't mince words, and they're very honest and forthright. And this may actually freak you out a little bit because maybe you're just not prepared for it. You're not quite ready for it. But there is this, possibility of wonderfully, wonderfully connected love that this person carries with them. All right. So very interesting energy. But the Emperor does represent Aries energy. And in the Aries energy, this fiery energy, it is about taking initiative, taking action, getting started. As the first sign in the Zodiac, that Aries energy is what we can embrace to take the first steps, to make the first moves. And for some of you, maybe you're just a little bit hesitant on that. Right. But I don't feel that this is the time for you to really sit on the back burner. I feel that this is a time where when you decide what it is you want, once you put yourself out there and take initiative, okay, or once you gain clarity on what it is you want, I think there's some changes in the wind for you here. All right. We do have the Three of Swords. So again, there's a little bit of healing element that is coming in for you. And this is your overall outcome for the month of September. Now, it's important to remember that the energy activating in September doesn't end right on September 30th, right? It can carry over, it can carry through. Some of you have things, happening really, really quickly in the month of September. Others of you are just getting started on your journey for love, or just preparing yourself for love. So when we get the Three of Swords, it's like, okay, your heart has been broken. There's maybe been some disappointment, maybe even some disappointment in September, right? Well, I thought I was going to find something and it hasn't happened yet. So we get a little bit down in the dumps. But this is a reminder with this energy that it can take a while to play out for some of you. It all depends on your personal circumstance. So when we activate the energy in September, just like those moon cycles, right, this can take upwards of 6 months to play out, but it depends on your situation, how speedily something will unfold, right? And quite often with that energy, just like the Chariot, it depends on you, your actions, your initiative, right? How fast you want something to happen, how much time and energy you're willing to dedicate to working through things or sorting things out or putting yourself out there. So the Three of Swords may be a little bit of disappointment that, okay, well, here we are on September 30th and I don't have love, right? And so you're very upset about that, right? But with the Eight of Wands, it's a reminder here with that there's something manifesting for you, all right? And so this is an energy of don't give up, because there's positive things that are materializing for you, but sometimes we do need to, again, work through some things. We maybe even have some healing to do with that Three of Swords. And before we can move forward with that Eight of Wands, and before we can really be ready to receive, Queens receiving that love and connections in our life in a healthy way, right, we do need to work through something first. But the Eight of Wands does show a speedy energy, okay? And it is very much tied with manifestation, right? Abundance of opportunities, really positive communication, and forward momentum do come in here with the Eight of Wands. Now, it might also be because eights are deal with abundance. Okay, the Eight of Cups, we say no, we walk away, or we move forward in the direction that we want. And the Eight of Wands, big yes card, right? And we are moving forward in the direction that we want, right? So no matter what you've got, both of these eights do represent moving forward, right? And possibly towards the unknown. We don't always know what to expect, okay? Other than the fact that we are moving towards and we're manifesting new love, all right? But the Eight of Wands can also show here an abundance of connections. And in those connections, you might be meeting a whole bunch of people, talking to a bunch of people. And in the Three of Swords, there may be some rejection there as well. And especially if you're in the online dating world, right? You know, you've got your swipes, right? I don't know, left or right, whichever it happens to be. And, you know, so you may just feel like, okay, this isn't good for me because, you know, I see I've been rejected 43 times and I've only been liked 3 times. Or maybe you are the one that's doing all the rejecting and it's like, oh, there's might be a lot of fish in the sea, but I haven't hooked one yet, right? So it can be a little bit of, I'm going to stay positive, but man, it's a little bit of a challenge. All right, so you might have an abundance of people, but maybe not something that you really are wanting right at that time. But there is still plenty of fish in that sea. Okay. And right when you least expect it is usually when it comes in, because we do have the Four of Cups. So prepare for the unexpected. Keep an open mind, keep an open heart here, right? Because in that Four of Cups, we can be looking at those 3 cups, giving you grief with the Three of Swords. Okay. We're looking at those 3 cups and we're like, ugh, that's not what I want. Ugh, we're just like not feeling it. But then there's something coming in here. And you know what's coming in there? This is a gift from spirit, right? There's that new love coming in from the sidelines, right? Keep an open heart, keep an open mind, because spirit is delivering you the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is you're manifesting new love into your life, new connections, new approaches, peace, calm, serenity in here. Those aces are those new beginnings, and it's wonderful. But you got to socialize, right? The Three of Cups shows an energy of friendship, of socialization, but it also brings in some support and some really positive news. So for some of you here, your key to finding new love may, yes, really hinge on you getting out there. It may also be where you get a little bit of help from your friends. So maybe you've got a friend that wants to set you up with somebody, or maybe you join some sort of creative group with your friends. We've got creativity up here and all these cups energy. This can be a very creative kind of energy. So, you know, maybe you do join some sort of class or something like that so you can learn something, or you go and, you know, have one of those paint nights or something at your local pub and with a couple of friends. And hey, you never know who else you might meet in that particular endeavor. So, you know, your friends may be your key to finding love, or they might just be your cheering squad. All right. But I think here, usually the Four of Cups is we've been waiting for something, we're not getting what we want, or we're not interested in what we have. We know there's something better. And just when we think nothing's going to happen, we kind of let go of control. We let go of our expectations and we just kind of go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go do something else. And boom, this is quite often where we do find what it is that we're looking for. And it's because we're not closing off energy. We're really being a little bit more open. We're like, you know what? Whatever happens. I'm going to go out with my friends and have some fun. And this can be quite often where that does happen. But with the Ace of Cups, the Three of Cups bringing in good news, and the Four of Cups with the Eight of Wands right there as well, you know, something very magnificent and very positive may be about to happen. There is a big shift here coming in for you. And again, for some of you, this is going to happen right here in September. Others of you, remember that challenge is about being patient, being open, being receptive, okay, and not obsessing or trying to control the outcome. Just go with the flow and allow things to unfold, but be willing to put yourself out there and take initiative as well, and things will come together for you, because again, there is new love out here for you. There's a lot of new energy out here for you. All right. Now we do have treasured memories coming in here, and it's card number 18. 18 does relate back to the moon. So some of you are working through some emotions, right? You're reflecting treasured memories, right? You're reflecting on the past. your past belief systems about love perhaps are changing, or about relationships are changing. You've learned some life lessons. This is where you're maybe reflecting on some old relationships. What was good? What went right? What went wrong? And in this energy, we can quite often figure out, okay, you know what? I liked this part of my relationship or about people, these qualities, but I didn't like these. So in the treasured memories, you're going to focus more on the positive. Now, just be a little bit aware here of rose-colored glasses, though, right? Especially if there is an ex coming back into your life. Because in the treasured memories card, yes, there can be some good times. Maybe there's some reminiscing, but be cautious of rose-colored glasses. Because quite often, if we do get caught in an energy of nostalgia, sometimes, you know, because our brain is a wonderful supercomputer and it does like to protect us from harm. And sometimes when we are reflecting on the past, we tend to gloss over or minimalize some of the negative aspects, and we focus a little bit more on the good, right? Because our brain wants us to be happy. And so just be a little bit aware of that, right? Because X's are usually X's for a reason. All right. You know, so unless someone's done their work, they've done their healing, they're not trying to just pull the wool over your eyes. They're being very honest. They're being very open, and they really have changed, right? Then, you know, use your intuition to discern if, you know, which direction someone's taking you, right? Are they taking you for a ride, or are they holding your hand and taking you into the future, right? Only you will know. Okay, make sure you trust your intuition. And, you know, you might just have something wonderful that happens. The treasured memories are also where you're maybe calling back someone from the past as well. And it may not be an ex. It could just be an old friend, an old connection, maybe something that didn't get off the ground. And you're kind of in this reflective, pensive energy thinking, I wonder what could have happened. I wonder what happened to this person. And you might energetically be calling someone back in. We have Oh Sunny Day coming in here for you. This is a time of growth. This is a time of connection. This is a time of positive, good vibes. Okay, you've been through some rainstorms. You've been through the clouds. Okay, and you've been through some dark times, some dark days, and this is where the skies are opening for you. There's happiness and joy afoot. This is a time of luck, of prosperity, of growth. And if you look at this Oh Sunny Day, we've got this mushroom. Mushrooms do represent growth, and quite often because things have been hidden under the surface, right? Before a mushroom sprouts, we don't even know there's a mushroom there. I had some toadstools not long ago sprout in my shamrock, right? I've got a nice shamrock that's potted in the soil, and all of a sudden I got 3 toadstools that came up there, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? They died in one day, but I consider them very lucky omen. So like mushrooms, everything operates underground, under the soil, and we don't see that there's something there until boop, it pops right up. So some of you may have a little bit of a surprise, right? Something's been lurking beneath the surface, and this is where it might come into fruition. We also have ladybugs on this card as well, and ladybugs do represent a little bit of luck. All right, so I think the shadows are being chased away. The sun is coming out. There's some beautiful positive vibes coming in here for you. So a little bit of up and down, maybe a little bit of challenge in the month of September, but that's not unexpected considering the astrology that we've got, all these planetary shifts and alignments and retrogrades that we've got going on. Okay, so a little bit of stop and start perhaps for some of you, but I do feel like the sun is shining on you. You've got new love coming in, new connections. Things are moving forward in a positive way. Just depending on how fast things move forward for you depends on your personal circumstances. All right, but I'm loving that we've got that Ace of Cups out there, and the Page of Cups. We've got that too, don't forget. Okay, so we've got some great things going on. So I'm going to leave all that there for you guys. I hope there was something here for you that resonated in some way. If there was, please like, share, and subscribe. That really does help out my channel and help it get seen. That algorithm has been broken for months. It's people complaining about it all over the place, right? Searches aren't working, videos aren't showing up, people aren't getting notifications. So even if you think you're subscribed, double check and make sure that subscribe button is still on for you because people have been becoming unsubscribed. I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, so, but yeah, so just make sure that you are that. Feel free to leave a comment down below as well. Say hello, where are you watching from, what's going on in your love life. So I thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful September, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.